Did you see just before I started recording there, Gary Lineker and Jamie Carragher having a bit of a spat on Twitter about Monday Night Football getting missing some stats about Messi or something?
Insane. We just, do you not have a swimming pool in your house? You know what I mean? Take a dip. Fucking, have a go on the treadmill. That's definitely in your house somewhere as well. In the fucking €1,000,000 gym, probably. I mean, honest to God.
What I do when I get home from work is I like to go on Twitter and post about Mr. Price. Look at them. Look at this.
Yeah, I would never criticize Mr. Price because I know how hard it is. Okay? You don't hear that from me, from fellow men in the industry.
I'd like to see you come over here with no self-service checkouts.
Yeah. When you're in the business, like me, you don't criticize. Fucking hell.
What a cheap move by Lineker as well. They're like, okay, man. It's like, is everything all right?
Whoa. I thought Twitter was a safe place.
Yeah, you started it, you prick.
Oh, God. I do respect him protecting the graphics guy, as someone in that business. I know how that is.
Yeah.
As someone who also makes, it also puts my own mind at ease making my own glaring mistakes in the past that I've published to many, many people.
I thought it was funny too, because for some reason I've never really considered that. In my head, for some reason it seemed like it was Gary and Jamie doing all the graphics and stuff as well.
No, it's like, I think when they're in that same, maybe we should say, I don't know, we'll get into it later on in the show, but I mean, that whole thing was like such a fucking, that M&F was like so pointless. It's like, I know it's Everton and Burnley, but come on, it's not that bad. Jesus, talk about the game. Like, I think Everton and Burnley are like, well, Everton definitely are like the longest club in the Premier League. And what they had to resort to is talk about who's better, Ronaldo or Messi? Is there nothing you can talk about for Everton? Is it like, is there nothing,
That's something we wouldn't even talk about. We wouldn't even talk about that on this. We'd be like, oh, who cares? Everyone talks about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that whole thing later on because that's our bread and butter right there.
Yeah. Townsend did it again. He did the thing.
Such a nice man. I love men like that who are just like, they're well aware that they have been paid too much over the years. It's like, listen, man, look, I'm just doing my best out here. Every now and again I'll score one, but hey, that's like I carried away here. There's a bit where he's like, I think Carragher or Dave Jones reading off his stat sheet. He's like, that's the first time he scored 36. I was like, thanks for that. There was no like sports psychology. Like, no, you know what? No, next ball's like, cheers, Dave. We're on TV. What the fuck?
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cahill and Will. 4 games gone, 4 teams left is what we would be saying if we had recorded this yesterday. Which, scheduled issues we couldn't, but it would have been on brand at least because we would have been immediately wrong because Everton last night, Monday night, they're now top 4 and City are 5th, condemned to Europa League embarrassment if the season was to end now, which of course it doesn't. But despite Everton hopping off Burnley 3-1, which was, like I say, my patented game of the round, cracking game.
Everyone was asking, what is Cahill's game of the round? They were messaging me non-stop.
Yeah. They were messaging you, yeah. What did you say? I'm sure you managed expectations there, did you?
I said it was probably Arsenal.
Yeah. Well, that's the default. It usually is, unless it's a really good game. And this time, even though Arsenal got their first win of the season against Norwich, it was, in fact, Everton versus Burnley. There you go. 6 minutes of hell for Burnley. It was like I conceded 3 goals, 2 goals?
3 goals, I think, yeah.
3 goals in 6 minutes. Sean Dyche, he seems like a good manager at times, but I mean that was bad. Like that was just,
that was real bad. Yeah.
I think when they scored their first goal, Burnley, they started like not time wasting, but trying to take the sting out of the game. I think is what it's technically called.
Yeah.
which is fine. But like, I think they did like 3 throws up the line.
Yeah.
You can take this thing out of the game for 1 throw, maybe. Time is that one, maybe 2, but 3 throws. It's like, now what's the plan in the end here? Is there any ability to get on the ball and maybe
We've got
create a chance?
we've got an hour to go here.
Because Everton were playing the 5 at the back or 3 at the back, whatever way you look at it. And Andrew Townsend, who was talking after the game, said they've been working on it since the international break last week. So they were working on a brand new formation, and it wasn't really working out for them. And Burnley got the first goal, but they couldn't hang on. It didn't really seem like they had much, And this is an Everton team without Calvert-Lewin, without I guess James Rodriguez isn't probably going to come back. That's a good said either. I mean, that's we don't know. Literally, we don't even know if that's a touchy subject. Is he alive? Where is he? No one is talking about him.
No, not a thing. He's gone. He's wiped.
But besides that, like they're kind of creative players and attacking players, obviously in Calvert-Lewin, but like they looked kind of stagnant in the middle till they brought on Andre Gomez, like famously not that good. One of the many dud Barcelona signings that's got them in the mess they're in now.
Yeah,
where they can't keep the lights on their training facilities. Like that's who came on and changed the game for Everton. So you'd worry about Burnley and Sean Dyche this year.
They do ride their luck a lot. Like there's been a lot of years where it's looking like they might go down and then things work out and they survive it. But surely they're due a proper relegation battle now.
Yeah, they've been circling the drain a bit and kind of just getting away with being the 4th worst team or the 5th worst team and get a few results towards the end. But like, I don't know, this could be a tough year for them.
Yeah,
on that performance. Everton, obviously, like I say, 4th place. They have like the Damari Gray, who I always thought was good at Leicester, but I don't know if he was there when Mahrez was there. I think he has a league title, doesn't he?
I think
he was around that time.
I think so, yeah.
So he wasn't getting in there. And then when Mahrez left, it's like, oh, well, now Damari Gray will come out and he'll take that spot. But it didn't really work out the same way. He's much happier, I think, in the middle, kind of as a number 10.
Yeah.
Getting on the ball in the middle and running at teams. That's where he's done so well for Everton this season. Game of the round, also a stat of the week.
Oh,
Damari Gray, 3 shots on target, 3 goals this season. That is efficient.
Yeah. That can't keep up, though, surely.
No, of course not.
He's going to score 38 goals.
He's a shot a game, a goal a game. Yeah, but they got him from like $1.5 million from Leverkusen because he was that poor at Leicester and presumably that poor at Leverkusen as well. That he was like, you can have him for like $1.5 million. Like $1.5 million.
That's free, basically.
I think of like Jadon Sancho, who came from this Bundesliga, who's younger, for 80 million. Like, is he 70 odd times better than him? Very weird career progression for Damari Gray, but he's playing well now. And Andrew Townsend, he only scores bangers.
He really does. That was one of the best ones, I think, because that one as well. He nearly scored 2 of them actually, because later on in the game he did it again, and it was a savage save. But that is mental. What a crazy!
That goal he scored, he just got like a bit of a space in front of Ben Mee, and it was almost like kind of lobbed the keeper, kind of like looped in, but also fired, and it was like genuinely unstoppable. There's no position the goalie could take. It's kind of looped over him and was top corner. I mean, unbelievable goal, and as Dave Jones pointed out on M&F afterwards, his first goal in 36 attempts or 36 games, I think. He's had a lot of attempts, I'm sure, but I remember when Andrew Townsend came in first for Spurs. He came in I think it was like 21, and he came in after Gareth Bale left to Real Madrid, and he was really good. Like, and I think he had a call for England and everything. Like, he was like really flying it. But he just never kind of got the consistency. Like, that's the kind of thing. Like 36 games out of goal and assists as a winger. I mean, it's in today's game where you have Salah and Mane as wingers. It's not gonna fly. You know what I mean? So that's why he's been at Crystal Palace and essentially released from Crystal Palace and now at Everton. But like, when you can score goals at that, I'm thinking, what's he doing at a club like that? He should be,
he'd be playing for fucking Madrid.
Yeah. He should be in Real Madrid, not Gareth Bale. But yeah, Everton looked good. Like I said, that was without Calvert-Lewin. And they had Richarlison up front. Did you imagine they had Richarlison up front as well? They look a decent team, but
Yeah,
I don't think they'll stay top
They
four
always-
for the whole season.
no, they always do look decent, and they fizzle away as time goes on.
Yeah.
They usually lose to Liverpool, and then that kickstarts it all.
Yeah, they have a crisis of identity. And like, who are we anymore?
Yeah, if we can't beat Liverpool, then why bother?
Yeah, like it's just like they're going well. They have the better players. They're in the better form, and then they lose to Liverpool, and they're reminded they're the other team in Liverpool, and it just completely destroys the spirit of the club for the season. Every season. Yeah, no, that was a cracking game. Just because it was kind of a bit slow, at the start, and it was very defensive, and Burnley were just kind of. Well, Burnley were doing what Jurgen Klopp was complaining that they were doing before, and everyone kind of laughed him off, like, "Oh, Jurgen and his tricks, huh?"
Yeah.
But I don't. Did you see? I think it was at the first minute. I clocked at 55 seconds when I think it was Brownhill went right through the back of Richarlison. I mean, exactly like that tackle that happened against the other Liverpool club we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but I thought you couldn't tackle from behind. I thought that's always been the rule.
I think Richarlison got taken out twice in that game, and there wasn't a mention of it. It's just like, hey, but he's much better than you, so it's allowed.
Yeah, I mean, the one that happened with Charlie, was his name Charlie what? The Liverpool midfielder
Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, the one that happened to Harvey Elliott, it was exactly the same thing. It was you run across you see the defender come, so you run across him, and then
you're like, he can't tackle me.
Yeah, but he won't come from behind me. If he does, it'll surely be a free and possibly a yellow card, if not worse. But I mean, now we're in a new era of giving the benefit of the doubt to the defender, which this is what we were saying before.
Yeah.
Were you say something there?
What are the rules again? They've changed them again.
Yes. Back to one of our golden oldie segments here. What are the rules? Yeah, like I say, I mean, I think not always been the rule. Obviously, you can go back to like you can watch Pele and Maradona getting kicked around the pitch, George Best and Eusebio getting prematurely kicked out of games. But I think probably from like the late 90s, it's always been you can't tackle from behind. That has been the rule for a long, long time. I'm pretty sure. I have to look it up, but that's not that's you're at the wrong podcast, people. If you're looking for facts and figures here, I'm pretty sure. I think that you couldn't tackle from behind since somewhere around 96. How about
that? Yeah, well, that sounds good.
Regardless, I mean, someone like Richarlison, who's 24, all his life tackled from behind, illegal. Yeah. Harvey Elliott, who's 10 years younger than me. There's no world where tackling behind was ever mentioned. As in, you can't do that.
Never seen one before.
Never seen one attacking behind that wasn't punished. And that's the thing. Like Suarez was a. This is how he used to win a lot of frees, and this is where the whole problem started. Winning frees shouldn't be lauded or whatever. But like Suarez would have the ball and he'd see someone coming, and then he'd step across the ball, and they'd be flying in thinking, "Oh shit, he's now in front of the ball. I can't come from behind." So they'd kind of pull out. But it'd be too late. So they'd come into the back room, wouldn't actually hurt him. He would go down and it'd be a free.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that, he'll keep coming. Crush the cartilage in your ankle and your knee, get the ball, and they'll probably score and you'll be blamed and never play again, maybe. I mean, we were saying before, you hate to see, I mean, obviously you think back to 2 months ago, and Grealish, Kane, and Sterling diving their way into the final of the European Championships. Yeah, and people are like, "Fuck this! This is not what we want to watch." That was one side of it. We've already, in the space of 2 months, gone to the other side of it. Of like, well, this is what happens when you give the benefit of the doubt to the 6'2" defenders who come craning into the back of you.
They're gonna crush people.
Like twice, 2 games in a row there. people just coming in. Like, the thing was, I went to get the ball and it was their trailing leg. It's like, well, he has trailing leg. He has 2 legs, so he jumped in with both his legs, and one of them, like the Richarlison one, was exactly the same. It was very close to just crushing the leg, and the Harvey Elliott one, like, plenty of players have been kicked out of the game that you never heard of, I suppose.
Yeah.
I pray that's not the fate of Harvey Elliott here. But, I mean, you never know. Like, that was a really bad tackle.
Big break. Yeah.
And then you have people saying, it wasn't red. Don't think so. It wasn't red for me. It's like,
give over.
well, under the new rules, I guess it's not a red, because we're now just.
I don't know if you saw Harvey Elliott said it wasn't a red. Apparently from his hospital bed.
He said it wasn't red either. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess
surely it's a rule that if they break your leg, it's a red card. Well, it doesn't matter. Surely that should be fair enough.
Well, that was the thing. The ref didn't even call it free.
Yeah.
He went straight to the
he
back
did the old he saw the leg and went, oh, fuck, that probably is something.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't show it on the replays.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, I mean, are we pretending that this didn't happen, that you didn't call it free for that? Like, I mean, the one, I don't know. It seems like this is the problem here now. It's like, would you rather see people diving, or would you rather see 18-year-old kids getting, we won't see him probably for the rest of the season. That's the last we'll see of Harvey Elliott. No. Maybe ever. And again, I'm not praying that just to be right. I'm just saying, that was a horrendous scene. Like, I mean, we get sick of seeing Grealish die or Sterling die or whatever, but like, I'd rather that than see someone get fucking put in the hospital. Because, Strike is able to just go to the back. And people are like, I hope Strike is okay. I hope he gets over this. It's like, Strike will be playing next week. And he'll be able to do that again, because we're letting the game flow here now. That's these new rules where we're only going to focus on big fouls, and we're going to let the small stuff go. This is the thing. It's like, these are extremely driven people, these footballers. Like, the best footballers in the world. Like, to get to the Premier League, you have to be, at one point, the best player in your school, your town. Like, Paul Gammond, who listeners may know from his run in League Two and FA Cup, and he scored all his goals. Yeah, he kind of bounced around a couple of different clubs, like Acton, Stanley, and different clubs like that. But like, he used to play hurling with my older brother in the Prez, and he was like the best player I've ever seen in my life. Like, his hand-eye coordination, like one of these natural athletes, just unbelievable. And he's like, say he made to like League One or League Two. These are Premier League players. These are a step above. Like, if the ball is halfway there, they're going for that ball wholeheartedly. They're not going, no, I probably won't get that one. They wouldn't have got to where they were if they were that kind of person who went, no, I'll leave that one. They're going all in for that ball. So if you give...
I'm behind them now. I won't do it.
At 50-50 for us, they're like, that's my ball all day. That is definitely mine.
Exactly.
So like,
that's why 50-50s happen, because they're both like, I'm getting that ball.
So if you put in their heads, there's no danger of you getting sent off here, because we're not doing that anymore. We're not actually calling fouls. Then, they're going to go for it. People are going to get hurt. And this is the result of it. So, I don't know. I mean, I was enjoying it up until this point. But I mean,
same.
At what cost? That's the thing. It's like, it's good until someone gets injured badly, but they will get injured badly. So, I mean, I think I'd probably rather the former. I might be alone in that. People might be thinking, you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelette. But I these are real people's eggs or legs or whatever. Yeah. Did you see actually the tackle Tarowski did against Richarlison in that game? Where the ball was there, he went clean through and went to kind of do him. No foul. Yeah. Because we're not calling that kind of soft shit. Get up, man. Be a man. Get up. Like, that should have been, that was clearly like, if I get the ball here, I can do what I want, basically. Yeah. That's what now players being told. So I don't know.
And especially for a team like Burnley to find that out, really, like, hey, you can do what you like. I'm sure Sean Dyche is like, there's no rules anymore. Remember what you're doing? Do it times 100. You can get away with it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It's like, we saw it when Stoke were there. They pushed the envelope as far as they could. And it resulted in Aaron Ramsey getting his leg broken. And there was kind of a pullback then, because it was like, oh, okay, this is like a really good young British player who's been, kicked out of the game. Like, listen, because it's Harvey Elliott, who's only kind of just starting. It's like, what might have been. But like, if he'd been playing 3 or 4 more years longer, and he was like a really good young player in the Liverpool team, possibly for England, and that happens, then it's like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't good. I mean, what if that had been Jack Grealish? It could have easily been Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the reaction then? Break a few eggs, lads. What can you do? Man's game.
Yeah.
No.
It's not really a red, though, is it?
It's just one of the things. Like, and if we're in game 4, we have 34 more games to go. Like, if you just let people do what Struijk did and Tarkowski did, there's going to be more leg breaks. I mean, I can think of.
Yeah.
This isn't the rules' fault. This is Arsene Wenger's fault. Like, Jack Wilshere has been kicked out of the game. Like, because he started playing when he was 18. Players around him like Nasri and Fabregas left and were never replaced. And Wenger said, Jack can play. He can play in all 4 competitions.
Yeah, little Jack Wilshere.
and his friend Aaron Ramsey, he'll also play every game. And like, look what happened to them. Like, Wilshere's now I think 29 or 30, and he can't find a club.
He literally can't find a club.
Because people he can't run. He can't last a season. Like, I remember distinctively a game against Man United where he was playing well. I think Scholes gave him a kick. This is late stage Scholes now, but he gave him like a kick. He got yellow card, rightfully. Like, again, this isn't the rules' fault. And then they brought on Tom Cleverley, and he kicked him again.
Yeah, to kick him again.
And that's your red, but split between 2 players. I think Jack Wilshere kind of went off then at like maybe 70 minutes and lost like 2-0, 2-1.
Yeah.
Because there was no one else around Jack Wilshere to play. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, that was Wenger not protecting the players. And just go out there and just try and win the game. I'll complain with the referees afterwards, but like, what's the referee's fault, man? I mean,
Yeah. The
point being that, like, if you let someone take punishment over the course of a career, you'll have players like Jack Wilshere more regularly, being at 28, 29, down to the divisions and without a club. And what might have been there for young Jack Wilshere, young Harvey Elliott?
What happened to Wilshere? He was so promising.
Yeah, like he was kicked out. So I mean, I don't know. It doesn't bode well, honestly, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think so. Too. Because like you're saying, it's only 4 games in, and there's been multiple flying tackles in. Even in the Spurs Palace game, did you see Tanganga's 2 yellow cards? Both of them were mental. He came flying in twice, like.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. When we look back on it, it's like, oh, fucking Tanganga, he was some character,
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of rose into glasses. Like, obviously he's still playing. But like, I'm trying to think of another like kicker who you kind of look back on and go, oh yeah, or like Vinnie Jones, like, kind of thing. Oh yeah, like, but if he was playing at your club now, like, ref, what the fuck? Like, this is just assault.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. During the last 10 years or so, you have the kind of incredible statistics of Messi and Lewandowski and Ronaldo, like, high scoring goals. Like, you bring back this kind of stuff, those records will never be broken.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they will not last full seasons.
Yeah.
No way. Why would they be allowed to last full seasons if they're going to do that to your team? And like, what would you rather see? I mean, obviously things are very weighted towards the best teams in that regard. And that, like, if you have a Messi or Lewandowski and you can't really kick them out of the game and they're just better players and you got better resources and better players around them and a better bench and a better manager, there's literally no stopping them. Which, it isn't great to watch, and that's how you get things like the Super League captain. But at the same stage, would you rather that Messi stop being good 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Or Ronaldo retired at 31 because he was like, fuck this, I've made my money and I'm just getting punishment now. Life's too short.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's more annoying because it's from last year. The quality of refereeing was so bad. So to fix that, they're like, let's just not call fouls anymore. Let's just let it happen, because then we can't get in trouble, can we? It's not our fault then.
Yeah.
So it's just it's such a stupid turnaround. Just do it and call it properly the whole time. You don't have to keep changing the rules to try let your referees get a bit less pressure. Like,
yeah, It's like, when there's a manager that wants signings and then he doesn't get them and he goes, right, well, now look at this team. He plays the worst possible team you can. Go, this is what you wanted. You said I had enough players. This is the team you want. It's like, no, and now you're taking the piss. I didn't say that team. You have a better team than that.
That is the Jose Mourinho special of being like, what could I possibly do? Because you've done this.
Yeah. It feels like that. Like the referee's like, well, fine. If I'm such a bad referee, then I won't call anything. This is what you wanted.
Get up, Richarlison.
Yeah. There is obviously a pendulum swing of like too far one way, too far the other. But like it's so fast. Like 2 months ago we're talking about that it was the other way. Now we're like, yeah, do what you want to players. Crush their ankles. See what happens. Oh, I thought this is what you wanted. I thought we had gone too soft as referees. What the fuck? Just call it normally. Like I don't know. Like when you're watching your own team, you think, oh come on now, that's a free for me every time. But like, you can watch a game that you don't care about, like that game last night. That had no horse in that race. I'm like, that was a free, definitely.
Yeah,
like there's no
and
bias.
That happens multiple times throughout the game. Like,
so I don't know where it's going to end up. I'd imagine there'll have to be a swing back after this weekend.
Yeah, at least a little swing. It has to do something. This weekend was mental. Every game it seemed like people were just flying in. Yeah,
and then when you have that injury, and then very close to happening again, because like after the Liverpool game, I'm sure the referees board or I don't know, high council of the referees, I don't know, like they'll look at it like, okay, let's just get through this game week and hopefully nothing else bad happens. And then Burnley and Everton on Monday night, and Burnley started flying through, lads. They have to swing back and go.
Antonio as well got 2 yellow cards, and the second one was because he came flying in with his foot up to someone's knee in their box. Like he wasn't even close to getting the ball or anything.
Could be red.
He just came flying in because he's like, I might get it.
Yeah, if I get the ball, then it's free reign. I can do what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. We'll see how that ends up. But like we're saying, it wasn't for Everton the top 4 will be locked in, and you could probably put your money on that being the top 4 for the rest of the season, as we did the start of the season. We call that in no particular order: City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United. Yeah. And look, we've been right before, we'll be right again, and we were right this time, I think. Yeah. It doesn't look like Tottenham are going to keep it up. They lost to. Who was
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. Oh, and boy did they lose. Yeah, we just mentioned Tanganga. Jesus. Yeah. They have some serious trouble with finding a good right back, don't they?
Yeah, and as well, I don't know if you saw Dyer is injured now as well. They had a midfield of, who was it, Skip, Winks and Højbjerg. And Ndombele was sat on the bench because Nuno hates his fat stinking guts and tried to sell him, and no one would buy him because no one's going to buy a player if you're actively like, I hate him, he never trains, he's lazy, will someone take him? Everyone's going to say no. Why would I take him?
You started
he's good, he was savage last season. If they had just talked him up in the summer and been like, we can't possibly sell Ndombele, definitely someone comes in for him. Like,
if you're constantly complaining about your car and be like, fucking cars, it fucking breaks my heart every fucking week, there's always something wrong with it. And then, on Monday goes, I'm selling my car there, boys. Anybody who wants to... It's like, no. The car you're always complaining about. The car that you think is a piece of shit and you won't stop talking about. No, I don't want that car. Fucking hell.
You're stuck with that car until your insurance is up now, until you're finished with it.
Yeah, until, you can fucking sell for parts, basically.
Yeah.
But I like Winks and I like Højbjerg, but I don't know much about Skip. I mean, look, he's played well so far. I guess you don't change a winning team. But it seemed to be the Tanganga issue there with Zaha. He completely lost his head.
He lost the head over nothing. Like, he went through Zaha. Now, maybe Zaha's winding him up, but I'm sure that happens all the time. Like, he just went through Zaha for a shortcut. Zaha stood up and Tanganga immediately went to kill him. He tried to choke him and stuff.
Well, this thing, like, he went
weird.
Zaha went to knock the ball past him and, presumably get some contact and go down,
Yeah.
Which maybe that's what was annoying Tanganga. It's like, have you ever played football before? I mean, that's what happens, man. Especially he's faster than you. So he goes, well, if you want to go down, I'll give you something to go down about. And he full kind of pushed him in the face and the chest. And I was like, here, what up? And he gets straight up. And he's like, what are you doing? And then they start like kind of grabbing each other's waists. It was very weird.
Because you can't touch their heads or else you get a red card. So they're like trying to pull each other closer so that the other person will hit them. Which again, another mental rule. The whole like, you moved your hand, that's your fault now.
Yeah.
It just leads to stupid shit like that.
I that's exactly what happened. When I think about it, yeah, that makes sense. But I was like, yeah, why are they doing it? Why are they grabbing his waist? Are they trying to like kiss each other? Whoa, where's this going now?
It's them both being like, you headbutt me, no, you headbutt
me. And no one headbutted each other, and then they all kind of got in and were pushing out. But like, even that wasn't a red card. That was just a yellow for Tanganga, because we're letting the game flow here. We don't want to see anyone sent off. Then Tanganga went, right, well, I'm going to fucking clean the next person I see. And he
right in front of the ref.
Right in front of the ref. He dove in, and I think it was Ayu who like went over his outstretched legs. It was like, rookie mistake there by Tanganga. Like flying in after being booked. Now it looks like he's going to do someone. He gets sent off, and then Spurs just like collapse from there. Like, you know, you give him that half space on that wing now. It's kind of game over. Edouard came on and scored 2 goals. I think he's the fastest debut goal scorer ever. Like 59 seconds he came on, scored another one. I mean, and then obviously Zaha scored the penalty as well. So, I don't know about Spurs. They weren't missing anybody, were they? Or were they missing? I guess.
They're missing Son.
Son.
Yeah.
Huge loss.
They just don't have like we always talk about. They don't have the massive squad that'll win you things. Because if you're missing 5 players in your city, it doesn't matter. You still have the 5 best players in the league. It seems like to come on. Spurs don't have that at all. They have a good starting 11 and then nothing really.
Yeah, you're missing Son. Well, this is what it used to be for everyone. You know, you're missing a player of the quality of Son. You know, you don't have a ready replacement on the bench. You don't, miss Bernardo Silva and bring on Mahrez. That's ridiculous. Or no Sancho today. I guess I'll play Rashford. Like, no, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. But like, that's what it takes to get into the top 4. And like, that's the thing. Like, one of those teams won't win it, but they both have huge squads, and that's what it takes. So you'd imagine Spurs had a good start, but that's probably what ends for them.
I think so.
I think Everton. I mean, obviously, again, it's early days, but it looks like they could be the Leicester or the West Ham this year to make a push, but ultimately fall short. The other team, I suppose, that we were just talking about there, Man United. That was it was crazy, Will. I mean, how did you feel about it? You're the Man United fan. How did you feel about that whole thing?
I don't know. I'm a bit torn about it. I don't particularly like Ronaldo. I've learned over the last few weeks.
Really?
And I didn't really realize it until I signed. Like, I was never one of those people that's like, oh, he loves the club, he'll be back, he's one of our own. I never thought that. I was always like, he's just.
Well, you were dead wrong, weren't you?
But then when he signed, I was like, okay, cool. Like, that'll be good. They'll win. And then just every time I see him, I'm just like, I just don't like you at all. And unbelievable as he is, I'm sure if United win loads. But I don't know, there's a feeling about him that I'm not one of those people who's like, he's back, baby, the GOAT. I don't like him. And he's unbelievable, he's savage.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I was saying before we started, well, we were recording, but probably won't be used, but it just takes some of the fun away when you just sign the best player in the world. And then it's like, well, now what? Because now it's like, you have to win everything or else it's a total and utter failure. There's no, like you said, there's no arc, there's no rise. There's just, it's hard to care.
There could be an arc. I mean, that was really, it's hard to think that this was the club not long ago that people were bursting into the stadium to complain. Like, it was just like everyone was so happy. Everyone was just delirious with excitement and joy.
It's mental. I mean, that is has to be the most effective protest ever in football, because like, it was so bad, like that was happening, and then like 2 months later they signed just anyone, like very much a Twitter account, like we need Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, we need, like, it's just, they just got them all. Apparently they've, after investing like 10 million into the stadium to do it up, there's fans on the board now. They're after selling shares. It's crazy how much that worked. When you just stop them making money for a day, they're like, this has to end now. We have to fix things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the I suppose the thing you do look at these massive corporations and you think, oh, well, like I am kind of powerless to it, really, you know. But I mean, the fans are the club. I mean, you saw it over the pandemic. So like the economy is people working in the economy. Like everything's just made up of large groups of people. Yeah, but the Glazers have the controlling stake in it. But like, if the fans were to genuinely stage a real protest that say, well, we might not support this anymore if it keeps on the way it is, that is how you affect change. So it all culminated with Ronaldo coming back.
So weird, very weird. It just didn't seem real. Like,
yeah, that was the thing. Seeing him in the jersey, it seems so weird to see. Like to go. Did they score first, or did Newcastle score first?
Ronaldo scored first.
No, sorry, Ronaldo scored first. Then Newcastle equalised. Then Ronaldo, puts it back in front
with an unbelievable goal. He was like bursting down the pitch as fast as I've ever seen him move. Savage first touch, and then nutmegs the keeper all at full sprint, which is like, people are always like say things like, oh, like if United had just this, like 2 more players they challenged. It's just, if you have someone who's unbelievable at scoring goals, things are so much easier. They haven't had that in years. Like, even Cavani, you can't get a string of games out of him as good as he is. And like, since Van Persie, that's what they've been missing.
Cavani is not doing that. Like the second goal, like the first goal, obviously was, you know, a real poacher's goal, a real somebody who scored a million goals would score. You know, I know where the ball's going to go, or where it's most likely to be. If he spills it, which he might, but if he does, I'll be there. Like we said when he's playing for Portugal, like he doesn't do shit unless, you know, his team have the ball. But when he does, he doesn't. No one does more. Like the movement is just like he was like. There's no one near him. No one else. Like, geez, how did he know that? It's like he's done it so many times. The second goal, like he was obviously going very fast, but like that first touch, you always see people mess up because it's hard to do. Like you're running full tilt and the ball is a little bit behind you. You go, oh, well, that's that move broken down. He might just to put it back in front of him to get onto his other foot, not too far at himself that he has to stretch, not too close to him that he has to get his feet right, perfectly in front of him. And then maybe the goalie could have a little bit better, but he did lash at him under his leg. So look, it went in. Insane. Like the noise, and that's it. I guess because the fans haven't been back for a long time. It was just like, I think it was Jesse Lingard who probably scored the best goal of the game. Honestly,
I think so. Yeah.
He posted a picture of him in the academy with Ronaldo. I think it looked like 2003, 2004 maybe. So he's maybe 10 or 11, like being coached by Ronaldo, and now him like, you know, celebrating a goal with Ronaldo. And I think that like sums up the whole feeling of like, you know, we're the same age as Jesse Lingard.
Yeah,
people around that age or younger or older who like grew up seeing Ronaldo playing for United when you were in school and you were happy and you had no pressures of the world. Then, you know, as you're coming out of that school environment, Ronaldo's left, he's gone somewhere else, and you got to go to fucking work and you got to figure out relationships and all the fucking drudgery of life. And maybe now you've got things a little settled, maybe you don't, but Ronaldo's back. And it's that kind of like, yes, like there's hope again. Like it's literally nostalgia on a play, and he looks the exact same. His face, he hasn't aged a day, so it's like he's back. It's all, and he scores 2 goals on the second debut. It's like it's completely surreal. That the hysteria in that stadium was just like everything that was ever wrong is right again. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it was. Maybe that's what the thing is with me and Ronaldo. Maybe I'm just in massive denial. I'm just like, this isn't gonna last. Like it's surely something. This is a trick of some kind. Ronaldo's not playing for Man United. We're not going to like just smash most games. Like they're playing young boys today. A game I remember them playing 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the United lineup and going, oh, we're in trouble here. Like I couldn't imagine thinking that today now. Yeah. I think that was a game where Fellaini was starting up top or something. I was just like, oh my God.
Fellaini.
And I think Fellaini scored a last minute winner in that game against young boys like 2 or 3 years ago or whenever it was. But it's just mental how quick it turned around. It did actually make me think a lot of the talk about Arsenal and stuff is probably overblown because, I mean,
what crisis?
But like it just takes like one summer of a few good decisions and then like you can turn things around pretty fucking quick. Because I mean...
well, this is the thing about United is like that they were in a crisis when they finished second in the league. Arsenal are fully in a crisis. It's not just like they, they couldn't get Varane this summer. I don't think they actually tried. But forget Varane and Ben White and all that bollocks. They couldn't get Tammy Abraham. That story came out during the week there that they tried very, very hard to get Tammy Abraham. And they were as soon as they got that deal done, Lacazette was out on his arse. But I think it was Jose Mourinho at Roma convinced them to go there. I know Mourinho is, loved and hated equally by the same amount of people. But like, if you're Tammy Abraham, you're thinking go to Rome and play under Jose Mourinho, or go to fucking Arsenal. It's like it's an easy choice. It's a very easy choice, and it was for Tammy Abraham. So that's where Arsenal are at.
But I think it takes, say if United don't sign Bruno, I think he's really I don't think it's as much Ollie as Bruno did a lot to turn the club around. Like his first season where he scored 30 something goals, and then all of a sudden they're challenging for stuff and they're in the final of the Europa League and stuff. So I think once that happens, then you can attract the Varanes and Sanchos. And then once you have them, then Ronaldo's maybe I will go there actually now that I see that. So I think you just one player having a freakish season dragging you up the league. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Easy.
Maybe I might fire off an email to Edu, see what he thinks.
Yeah. Just sign a freak.
See if he's thought about that yet. If you have thought about signing a player who's like really, really good, just one, and just see what happens from there. Maybe that gets the ball rolling. No, I'm not taking the piss, but I know what you mean. It's just he was a huge catalyst. Bruno was. The only thing, well, not really. It was that they saw the banner flying over Old Trafford.
No, what was the banner? I didn't see the banner.
The banner, believe Captain Mallorca.
Yeah, well, that is also a big, big reason for why I'm not that fond of Ronaldo.
No one cared, though. That wasn't the time or place for that.
That is what is also making it worse, I think, is the better Ronaldo does, the more in my mind I'm also yeah, but,
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw that.
We have to mention that.
Yeah, but I didn't see that during the coverage. Well, there was no coverage of it. Well, I guess
there's no way they showed that.
I didn't see the live coverage on Premier Sports, but I don't think it was a talking point, really.
No, I would imagine they're not allowed to talk about it. Because I don't know if you saw when Ronaldo signed, one of the things Ollie said in the first interview or whatever, he's an all-time great player, one of the United legends, but also a really great person. And I was I've never heard him say that about a player before. That seems weird. Seems weird to say to shoehorn that in. So yeah, it does seem it might be a bit that makes sense in a PR sense to go, if I go back to fucking Manchester, there's not going to be a bad word said about me ever again in the English media.
They wouldn't dare.
They wouldn't dare after what I've done to this club.
Well, it is interesting because we always take the piss saying he'll make the money back in shirt sales or whatever, but we always kind of know.
He has, apparently. Yeah.
Well, this thing that we think, we know that's not true, but I don't really know. But there must be some, corporate value to Ronaldo as well as I think. And there was an interesting article in the Financial Times about it. It's called "Swallowing a Whale: The Net Effect of Ronaldo's Return to Manchester United." By Murad Ahmed. It's very good, and it goes into kind of that Adidas make the majority of the money from the shirt sales, but that the real reason that they signed Ronaldo was, like we were saying about getting a really good player, it kind of brings you up a level.
Yeah,
that they were thinking that by having him there, it would improve the players on the pitch. To the point that you bring currently United aren't at the level of say a PSG, I guess Real Madrid, the semi-finals, quarter-finals of Champions League. Now, Wally obviously thinks he'll get to this year, thinks he can go all the way. But that's obviously part of the plan. Is that Ronaldo raises the level of people around him. He's obviously a better player than what they had, and he'll attract like we're saying about players, people who support. Players rather than teams. that he will attract a new age group of players, which it seems mad, but like there are people who have been born in 2009, who are tweeting away right now. It's it's scary to think, but like those players aren't aware of Ronaldo, what he's done, like at Man United. Whereas now they're like, oh, I'll watch Man United now. I love Ronaldo.
Exactly.
He does kind of bring more people to the club. Like it's not the same level as what he did for Juve. Like he improved Juve's revenue hugely because they weren't at the level of Man United in terms of global reach and stuff like that. But it's more kind of like a long-term effect that they hope that Ronaldo will have, that will give them another kind of push for the next 3 or 4 years. That as good as players like Rashford or Sancho are, they're just not the brand that Ronaldo is. So I mean, it's more kind of intangible. It's a very good article if anyone wants to have a gander at that. It kind of breaks down the kind of the monies, and I think the team viewer deal that was done before Ronaldo was signed.
They must be fucking buzzing. Could you imagine the dude who like organised that deal, and then a few weeks later Ronaldo's in your fucking jersey on his social media and stuff?
Yeah, well, the problem is he probably already agreed to the bonus that he was getting for that, and I was like, oh shit, I should negotiate for one more week.
It's a far cry from, I remember when United got the Chevrolet sponsor. Did you know that the man who got that sponsorship was fired a week later because it was like the most expensive sponsorship in football history? And I don't know how it got so far that he got it approved, and then a week later Chevrolet were like, you did what? You're out of here.
Oh no, that's poor man.
So that's how quickly things have turned around there. It's gone from team viewer or Chevrolet to team viewer, the total opposite ends of the spectrum of people being like, you're putting our fucking sponsor on Man United's jersey, you're out of here, bro.
So that's the thing, like, Ronaldo, really it is about what he does on the pitch, because the brand deals and everything else, they does bring. I mean, Man United already had that. He will improve it a little bit, but like in terms of marginal, it's not really about that.
I don't know. I don't know if you saw that. Apparently this week, there was an article out on the Athletic about the effect that game, like the comeback game, had on the United players and their thinking. And apparently now Pogba is looking to sign a new contract because he saw that and he was like, oh baby, I'm doing this for 5 more years, no doubt. And I think Bruno as well is signing a new contract. So, I mean, like straight away, instantly, day one. Like they've been trying to get Pogba to sign a contract for years now. And it's just like, that's all it's easy to say that's all it took, but like I'm signing Ronaldo. But you know what I mean? After it one day, and he was like, okay, I think I'm convinced now this is going to be good.
Yeah. So it's all looking good for Man United. They're looking to take it right back to the top.
Too good. Something has to go wrong.
Well, look,
things are going too well.
There will be an arc. You start well, you take a dip, you come back, and maybe you win the FA Cup. Who knows?
That'll do. The League Cup, baby, the much predicted League Cup.
But yeah, what else do we have then? We had and Champions League back tonight, of course. Who's playing tonight? Man United playing the Young Boys, as you said, are they?
Man United playing Young Boys. Chelsea are playing Zenit. Barcelona are playing Bayern.
Oh no!
Yeah, not the time.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah.
Oh god! Like Bayern are better than ever, and Barcelona are worse than ever.
Yeah.
Jesus. That'll be a tough game for them. Jeez, I wonder how they're going to get on. Is that Tuesday night or Wednesday night?
They're today.
Today. Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, we got some good Champions League games on. There'll be some stories from that. Juve are also playing now. Juve are going terribly in the Serie A as well since Ronaldo's left.
And like, remember all that talk last year of like, is Ronaldo the problem? No, like, he's like top scorer in the league and stuff, and they're like, maybe it's him.
Yeah, jeez, that'd be good. We'll do another episode there for that on Thursday, I suppose, or Wednesday or Thursday. We'll have that out.
Yeah,
back to Champions League.
We'll wrap it all up. Everything that's happened, I'd imagine Ronaldo will have scored more goals probably.
Yeah, well, that is something, you might think you don't like Ronaldo, but at least it's good to see both Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes linking up well for Man United, and they can hopefully bring that form into the international stage when we play us.
Oh no.
So that,
Oh no.
something that maybe you didn't count on. Yeah, they're playing well together. They're both scoring in games. That's good to see. They finally cracked that.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would clubs say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?